Seriously.
Thank you so much. This will help you too, and help you train your team with some things that are really important at that level. So that was kind of what I was thinking that I wanted to talk about tonight, if you guys are okay with that. And then right before I got on the call, I was nursing my baby, and a couple of thoughts came into my head, and I thought, I think I might need to say a couple of these things that may not fit into that category. So maybe one of you needs to hear that. So it might be a little bit random. I don't know. But mostly I'm trying to focus on kind of that gold stage and what that looks like and what you should be focused on, if that makes sense.
We'll just have a party with you and your amazing mind. So what I'll do, and we started recording because, everything that you say is like gold to me. So we're recording now. But what I'll do is I'll mute everyone and then just give you the floor. But I want to, do you mind saying a blessing over us?
Sure.
Yeah?
Okay. Yeah. Dear Lord, I thank you so much for Rachel and this amazing team. I thank you that they are rallying around her to help her reach her goals. And that only is possible by her helping all of them reach their goals. And I know that one day they're going to be in this position, if they haven't already, where you are looking to your team to help push you up and you're pulling them up. And then I pray that each one of them will get to experience what Rachel's experiencing right now on the brink of being a Joel. And I pray that over this team, Lord. And I pray that I'll bring some wisdom tonight and some things that this team can really use to further their businesses. But most of all, we thank you for the opportunity of Plexus. We thank you for the opportunity to change lives. We thank you that we get to have this amazing opportunity and have a part of people's stories, that they can have freedom from health issues and freedom from financial burden. And that's what we have in our lives. So we thank you for that opportunity to share. In all of that, I pray that we will point people to you, because that is the ultimate. You are the ultimate hope dealer, and we hope that we can point people to you, Lord. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
That was so beautiful. Thank you so much. So for those of y'all that don't know, hi, Shane just logged in. Jenn is a diamond sapphire, and that is
yay! Congratulations.
That is a huge accomplishment, and she's so excited to see you. And we are just so thankful that Jenn has taken her time for us. You can imagine how busy a diamond sapphire new mom is. Jane wants to say hi.
Hi, Jane.
You see her?
Congratulations on what's about to happen.
Oh, yeah.
She said congrats on what's about to happen.
Oh, yes. Thank you. We're very excited.
He's going to go gold. But so I just want to really help y'all understand, Jenn is a huge gift for us, and she has been an incredible mentor for me. And from the beginning, just has prayed over our team, cared about our team, and that is so kind, because she has a very, very, very big team. So we are so thankful for you, Jenn. So I'm just going to go ahead and give you the floor. I'm going to mute everyone. And then unmute you. And voila, you are unmuted.
Awesome. Well, before I start, I wanted to recognize Kimmy for going senior review, but just also a couple others. I understand that Maria, and I don't know if she's on here where she is, but and I will butcher her last name, so I'm not going to say it, but she went gold today, so congratulations to Maria. That's awesome. Is that you right there waving your hands? Okay, all right. And then Laura, where are you? I don't know where you are. Is that you right there with the glasses? Well, congratulations, you guys. That was huge, and I want to talk about how huge gold is. Stephanie Santiago, recently gold. I see her muted her video down there, so congratulations to you, Stephanie. And then Danny, who I assume is Kimmy's husband, went gold as well. So congratulations, you guys. It's a huge, huge step. So I'm going to dive into some of that, like what I talked about gold. But Rachel thought that maybe some of you had not heard my story. So If you haven't heard my story, I will share my story with you guys. If you have heard my story maybe half a dozen times, I'm sorry. You can go grab a drink or go to the bathroom or something, because it might be like a broken record. But I'll share my story for those of you, for the benefit of those of you who haven't heard it personally. I came into Plexus strictly for weight loss. I was desperate to lose the last 20 pounds of baby weight with my first child. And gosh, this was about 4 years ago. She's about to be 5. So she had turned 1 and I was still struggling with this weight. So I reached out to my friend who was posting about Plexus on Facebook, and I reached out because it seemed like a healthy tool to help me lose weight, but she tried to get me to do the business right away. And I'm like, yeah, I don't do that. I don't do that network marketing thing. That's not me. She's like, well, hear me out. Let me tell you a little bit more about it. And I said, yeah, okay. Go for it. Try to change my mind. And she told me things like, we don't have a quota. It's a minimal investment. It's only going to be $35 more than what you're going to spend on products with me anyways. You can get out at any time. You don't have some long-term commitment. Let's see. You don't have to carry inventory. You don't have to deliver product if you decided to have some customers. Only 3 to 5 customers will actually help you pay for your products. So that was something that stuck in my mind, and I'll tell you why in a second. And then the other thing was, she said, if you decide to work this business, you don't have to host parties. Now, some of you might host parties, and so I don't want to knock that, because if those work for you, go for it. But I was not a party girl. I did not want to host parties. I did not want to pressure my friends to host parties. So that was pretty much why I was like, no against network marketing. And when she said, you don't have to host parties, I was like, okay, now I'm listening. So talked to my husband, and he said, well, maybe this is good anyways, because, oh wait, he's coming down the stairs. He's very fiscally responsible. He's kind of cheap. He just said, I heard that. Anyways, he said, if you want to keep taking these products, you're going to have to make enough to cover the cost of them. So I'm like, okay, well, it's probably not going to work anyways, but if it works, then I'm already positioned. Rachel says hi. I'm already positioned to be able to sell enough to cover my own products. So 3 weeks in, I lose 10 pounds, and I decide, okay, I've got to put this out there on Facebook. So I do, and I make $500. And so something that you have to understand about my life at the time was, I was like this against network marketing, working this business, but I was actually trying to find something to do to supplement our income so I could stay home. I was working for an oil and gas company at the time, working so much that I only was seeing my daughter in time to get her bathed into bed at night. And that was not working for me. I wanted to stay home with her. So Cody tells me, if you can make $1,000 a month, then you can quit your job. So when I made that $500 check, we were both like, light bulb, this is it. This could change everything. And by everything, we just meant I could be a stay-at-home mom. We had no idea what we really had in our laps for what this could be to really change the course of our family's financial future. So I was just excited. So I was all in, $1,000 a month. That was my goal. Was able to quit my job in January of 2013. So I signed up into May of 2012, ended up quitting my job January of 2013. Fast forward another year, January of 2014, we paid off $50,000 of student loans in one check, one payment gone, which was a huge, huge, Rachel, that threw me off, gosh. That was a huge blessing. When you get rid of $50,000 of debt, I mean, holy moly, that was amazing. And I know many of you know what debt feels like, and you're under that burden right now. So imagine being able to pay off all of those bills. fast forward another month, another year, and Cody was able to resign from his great job. He had a great job, but he saw this is where it's at. This is where our future's at. And why not stay home, work this business, and being able to have quality time together as a family. So I could not do what I do without him. He's amazing. And we work together as a team, much like Rachel and Shane do as well. And I don't know if Shane ever wants to retire. I know he loves his job. But what's great is to have the option to be able to. You don't have to, but to have the option for your husband to walk away was such a blessing, so we can spend more time as a family. Rachel asked me what I'm making now. Let me tell you I'm going to talk in code, and you can do the math and kind of figure out. I make almost 5 times in a month what I made in a year at the job that I left. So you don't know what I made at the job that I left, but you can do like some bare minimums of what you might make at a salary position job there. Does that help, Rachel? I don't know. It feels weird to say the number. It makes me a little like I never want to feel like I'm being arrogant or bragging. And so, but know the potential is there for this to be a little bit of extra income or a lot. I sound like I'm at an opportunity meeting right now, and you guys are already totally sold on this business. So,
well, actually, Jen, we have some very new people on this call. So,
okay.
Oh yeah, very, very new people on this call. Raise your hand if you're new. 1, 2, 3, and then we've got some people that you can't see their screen. We've got at least 4 or 5 new people on this call.
Oh, sweet. Okay.
And Amanda's new too. So I don't want to make you feel uncomfortable. It's more like I think that people can't quite grasp like the vastness of it. So I tell people sometimes what you showed us in like Colorado, you know what I mean? And obviously you've surpassed that now. And so I just think it's cool to kind of like have an idea of what that could look like. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But I mean,
well, and so this can be anything you want it to be. If you want it to be that $500 a month, and then it can be that. If you want to make an annual salary monthly, it can be that. And it really can, and it is for hundreds, in fact, of people on my team. It's not just me. I know I'm the second highest earner in the company, but that's just it. I have still hundreds of people on my team that are making life-changing income that would blow your mind. So it's possible. It's possible for anybody to do it. It's not just the few at the top, the Celeste or the Jenn. It's an amazing opportunity. And what's so amazing too is we're at the beginning of this. I mean, I know it doesn't seem like, I just said I'm almost 4 years in, but we are still in the very beginning of what you would think of would be a life cycle for a company like this. And when you look at the big picture, and our executives say, we are creating a legacy company that you can will to your children, that you will your business to your children. We're talking 20, 30, 40, 50 years down the line. And Slim was just, Plexus Slim, the pink drink, was just introduced in 2008, I believe. So we're still in our infancy here, and we're scratching the surface. So the sky's the limit with what you can do. It just is going to depend on your effort, your commitment level. And I talk a lot about commitment and belief, but without the commitment to get through even the really hard times, you couldn't achieve this kind of success. So I went to a mastermind conference in November, and I love one of the speakers said, people in network marketing will say, there's only so few that make it to the top. And whenever you think about the vast, like let's say we have 300,000 ambassadors, and now let's say we have, I think there's maybe 600 jewels. Well, that's a really small percentage, but it's because a really small percentage of people actually have the level of commitment that it takes to achieve that level of success. So the commitment comes before the success. You see people say, well, I'll commit when I see it work for me. I'll commit whenever I see a paycheck coming in. That's not the way it works. You have to reverse that thinking. You commit, and then the success comes. Okay? I'm kind of really going off on a tangent here, but I wanted to say to the newbies, I want you, if you're really new, get with Rachel too. I've talked to her about this, and she's probably already doing this with some of you, but building belief is so key right from the get-go, and she can help you build that belief and what that looks like, because belief, you know, hope will bring you into this, what it is. You hope that you can lose weight. You hope you can make an extra couple $100s a month. But really believing in the company, in the products, in yourself is going to keep you here. You can't share products with boldness and conviction if you don't believe in them. So right now, when you're starting, we have life-changing testimonies. We have life-changing stories that you need to hear so you understand the hope that you have to offer someone. So if that's kind of in that stage where you really need to start building your belief, then please know that is one of the key things you need to do from the get-go. So I'm going to go ahead and start talking about some of the stuff I want to say to you, goals. So I know there's some newbies on here. Think about this as, if you really want to make this business work, you want to commit that this is stuff that's coming down the pipe, and you can be thinking along these lines. Does not mean you can't implement these things before you get to gold. There's no specific timeline. I just find that these are some things that if at gold you haven't implemented yet, you need to start. Really, this is where some of these things start to happen. I don't know if I already said this, but as a gold ambassador, you're in the top 3% of our company. You are a leader. Absolutely. There's no question about it. Top 3%. It is a big, big deal to go gold, to be a gold ambassador in this company. I truly believe that if you can go gold, you can go diamond. And I know you've heard people say that and leaders say that, but you can. It's the same things you've been doing, and you just add on to that. You can do it. I found that going gold, both times, because I've gone gold twice, has been the hardest rank for me to achieve, both times. And the reason why I think gold can be the most difficult one to achieve, which is again why we say if you can go gold, you can go diamond, you can go all the way, is that often you're building gold on your own. You may not have a runner yet. You may not have someone who's building with you, that you are trying to get 20 active level 1 through 3s potentially on your own, 20 active level 1s. That's what gold could look like for you. It was close to what it looked like for me. I think my primary leg was 25 points when I went gold the first time. So 75% of my gold were my level 1s. And that is okay. And it's okay because when you are doing it for yourself at gold, you're building a really solid foundation, and there's nothing wrong with doing it and letting it happen. And it could take a year. It could take 2 years. I just celebrated, one of my team members went gold yesterday, and she joined in April of 2014. So 2 years. And she has never let her foot off the gas, not once. But it still took her almost 2 years to go gold. And guess what? Just this month, March, she has her runner. It took her 2 years to get her first runner. So we talk about runners, and I'm going to explain a little bit what that means. I've got some notes that I'm kind of looking, so I don't venture too far from what I want to say. I have rambleitis. Does anybody else have rambleitis? Yeah? Okay. Just making sure I'm not the only one. So you can actually go gold on your own, but beyond that, it requires duplication. You can't get past, you could not realistically make senior gold on your own without some sort of duplication. You might have some duplication, that doesn't mean you have a runner. But the duplication only works when you actually have someone who wants to be duplicated. I hear this question all the time, and I have people that will say, how do I get these people to work the business? 9 times out of 10, you don't. How do I get these white lines to come back alive? Most of the time, you don't. And those are the people that you love. Say, I am here for you whenever you're ready. That you hope they're still watching you. They're watching you on Facebook. They're seeing the potential of the business, and that's maybe getting them more interested. But you've got to spend time on the people that are wanting to work the business, and those are your runners. They're showing up on team call night. They're showing up to opportunity meetings. They're doing their homework assignments and their challenges that you put out to them. Those are runners. And you know what? Runners don't just show up. So, you know, I just said my friend who went gold yesterday, her runner showed up this last month. And she tried to get all of her other people that she signed up to be a runner. And it just didn't work. But that doesn't mean you don't try to create a runner from someone. And that involves helping them build belief in the products, in the company, in themselves, casting that vision for what this can be for them. And until they're ready, until they want it and they're hungry, they're not going to go for it. So you can only do your part, and then you have to let them go, let them know you love them and you're ready for when they want to jump in. But you're moving on without them, even if it's only with one person, okay, that runner. Do y'all know Rhonda Shaw? Rhonda Shaw is a brand new diamond. She went diamond this month. I have a lot of admiration for Rhonda. And, you know, we were talking the other day, and I learned about her journey that she basically went ruby without a runner. So she had some duplication, but she didn't have anyone taking off in the business. So she got to ruby without a single runner. And she said, that was a very lonely time for me because I didn't have anyone to run this business with. But Rhonda Shaw, I was texting with her earlier. She just found out she won the jewelry platter for the convention contest. That's the top prize for the convention contest. And think about it. What if she would have quit before she got to Ruby because she didn't have a runner? Well, I don't have a runner. I guess this business isn't cut out for me. How many lives would be unchanged? How many lives would she not have been able to change had she quit? She would not have gone diamond. She wouldn't have her team is the fastest growing team in one of the fastest growing teams in the company right now. And she could have very easily quit when she was at senior gold saying, I don't have my runner. Well, you know what? You might not have your runner, but you got to keep going until you find your runners, and they will come. You will develop them, or they will show up. Okay, let me see where else. I've talked about all of that. Okay, so when you have someone that you're trying to create this hunger, this vision, and you've got them and they're like, okay, I'm starting to see it, you've got to show them two things. Dream big, and then what are their goals? They have to write down their goals, and their goals should be broken down into, okay, here's my dream. What are my goals that match my dream? And this is a long-term goal and then short-term goals. How am I going to reach these goals? So if you're silver, then your short-term goal is to go gold. And you got to break that down. What is the action taken that I need to go gold? And if you want to go, because if you want to be a diamond and change the course of your family's financial future, you got to go gold before you go diamond. You guys get that. Okay. So for duplication, when it comes to gold and an action plan, this is where a training system is super important. At Gold, you probably haven't gone out and created a training system from scratch. You might have, I don't know, but you're probably plugging into your upline's training system. And this is super important to get your level ones and their level ones, because everyone could be kind of fairly new now. Everyone has to understand the system, get plugged into that system, because without that system carrying on, that duplication dies. So a system is super important whenever you're trying to duplicate. And you've got the goals, that's important, and then the action plan to reach those goals. I love our company, and they're doing some amazing things right now. Like our new success kit is awesome, and that's going to be huge for our ambassadors, especially our ambassadors that might fall through the cracks where they don't have a leader that's really showing them the ropes. But if you're on this call, then you know that it will take more than that. That you don't just say, okay, my ambassador, I signed up my new ambassador. They're going to get their success kit. That means they're going to be successful because they have this awesome new success kit. No, you've got to guide them through that. You have to kind of coach and mentor them through that process. I'm going to be honest here. I made a mistake when I first started. I'm a go-getter. I don't need someone to hold my hand. I dove straight in. And as soon as I realized I wanted to work this business, I was learning. I didn't have all these resources. I had one team page. We didn't have the YouTube videos back then. I dove into a team page and the back office. And I did the best I could at learning as much as I could. I was very self-sufficient. So here was the mistake that I made, because that's my personality, that I'm driven and a go-getter, that I'm like, if I'm going to be successful at this, it's going to depend on me. I was not depending on my sponsor because she was only 4 weeks ahead of me. She didn't really understand what she was doing either. And her upline wasn't active and supportive. So we were figuring it out on our own, and we had to be self-sufficient. So the mistake I made sort of was assuming everybody I sign up will be that way. Everybody I sign up is going to be a go-getter. Everybody I sign up is going to be self-sufficient. They're just going to figure it out like I figured it out. Not everybody is that way. You have to show them how to do this business. What does income producing activity look like? What does customer service? How do you service your customers? What does that look like? You have to teach them how to do that. And I took so much of that for granted in the beginning that I just thought, oh, you know what? They'll figure it out. They know, because it was almost second nature to me to just provide great customer service to my customers and touch base with them and follow up. That was just something that I just did naturally. But not everybody's like that. So you really don't make the mistake I did. Assume that people need help in the beginning. But here's a trap. I'm telling you to train your team, but I'm also telling you, do not spoon feed and hold their hand the whole way. The ultimate goal in this business is, I was going to actually share this at the end, but I'm going to share it now. The ultimate goal in this business, in my opinion, is to literally work your way out of a job. Not a paycheck. Work your way out of a job. I want a team that's going to grow despite what I do. If I have a baby and want to take 2 months off, I want to be able to do that. That's ultimate freedom. When you get to a point where you can have a baby and take 2 months off, or go to Puerto Rico for 2 months, and your income and your team continues to grow, that is the ultimate goal in this business. But that doesn't happen by holding everybody's hand along the way. So as you're thinking forward to growing and building a team, remember at some point, you personally, I gotta fly the nest. I have to be a leader to my own team. I need my upline to empower me to go lead my own team. At some point, you will get to a point, maybe senior goal, where you're like, okay, I have some key people. I've got some leaders on my team that they're awesome, they're developed, and I need to let them go and empower them to be the leader of their team. If you don't create leaders, then you've got a huge team of people who are all looking to you, and there's no freedom in that. If that is what I had created, then I would not have been able to take 2 months off and still see my team grow. I wouldn't have promoted to Sapphire on basically a month that I have taken off. This is my first team call, like online Zoom or anything that I have done since January. So I'm back. I'm back, but this is the first time I'm just now getting back into it. And so I hope that makes sense, that there's a time where you need to guide and instruct and teach and hold some hands. But after that, when they've got it, empower them to go. Give them opportunities to lead. Give them opportunities to lead your team call. Because that is what's going to create time freedom for you down the road. So I was going to talk about that at the end, but I snuck that in there. Okay, what else do I have on my list here? I've just talked you through most of this. So as I'm talking about runners and duplication, because at Gold, you've got a team and you're a leader, don't forget your own income producing activity. Because at Gold, you have a real legitimate business, okay? And a real legitimate business is not a hobby. You will want to set aside intentional time to work your business. And what you do in that time needs to be, income producing activity needs to come first. I don't care what level you are, income producing activity will always be important all the way through. And there are people on this call, I know you work 40 hours a week, and you've got children, and you're fitting Plexus into these tiny nooks and crannies of your time. So if you have 30 minutes here, 30 minutes there, and that is all you have for the whole day, then 20 minutes of the two 30-minute increments, so 60 minutes total, 20 minutes of that 60-minute total, you better be spending on income-producing activity. It's got to come first, because if the income-producing activity stops, then and you're just focusing on your team, telling them what to do, because your team doesn't work for you. You're helping them achieve their goals, but you, if that's all you're doing, then you're not feeding that pipeline, because your team, here's this industry standard, a third are coming in, a third are working the business, and a third are on their way out the door, okay? So if you're not doing your income producing activity, bringing that third in, then eventually your team is going to dwindle, okay? So the income producing activity keeps that, as Celeste's analogy is the bathtub. It keeps the bathtub, the water running, because eventually it'll run dry if you're not filling it back up. So income producing activity is still important at every level, and you've got to set aside this time. So you may be one of the awesome, lucky people who get 3 hours to work your business a day. Most of us don't, okay? I understand that. When I started, I set aside 2 hours at night after bedtime, gave up TV 100%, and the time that I was going to spend watching TV, I was working my business. I stayed up a little later, and I quit watching TV. That was my time to work my business. So being intentional with that. What can you cut out? What can you do? How bad do you want it? What are you willing to give up to be intentional, to have time to work your business? Okay. Okay. The other thing that you really need to be starting to think about at this level at Gold is personal development and leadership development. This was another mistake that I made. I'm being honest. My team was growing so fast that I was pretty much thrust into a leadership role, and I had to catch up and read the leadership books and understand what it meant to be a good leader. And I'm still catching up. I'm not there yet. And I mean, I don't think anybody ever is. So the two resources that I want to make sure, and I want to put out there, I know I've shared with Rachel one of them before. For personal development, I love 25 Ways to Win with People. It's John Maxwell. She's probably already shared it with you, but the audio version is a quick audio. It's like 2.5 hours long. I've probably listened to it like 4 times over. I get something new out of it every time, or it's a great reminder. I'm like, gosh, I'm not doing that. I am getting with people, and I get nervous, and I'm talking about myself, and I'm not asking them questions. I'm not making them feel special. And that's a really great book just to be a better person in general, despite whether you're leading a team or not. And I think that's a really, gives you really great, tangible things to do to be a better person in a quick amount of time. You're not going to spend, so much time reading or listening to a book. You're going to get really tangible things really quick. And then as far as the leadership, and 25 Ways to Win with People, it also will help with your leadership as well. But the 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership, I know that was going around a while back where a lot of teams were doing like these book clubs with the Irrefutable Laws of Leadership. So I recommend that if you are gold or about at gold, even silver, go ahead and read this book. Start thinking leadership. Start thinking, I want to be prepared to be a leader for when I have a team. Or I have a small team, and I need to start really understanding what it means to be a leader. So go ahead and read that book if you haven't already, because I'd like to see people at senior gold and ruby level actually leading these book club kind of things with their teams. Like pull together, read it together, and have kind of those book club community meetings. So I was reading a question from Rachel. Okay. The books that I read, can you share those books on the team page, right? Okay. Worship music. I have that 25 Ways to Win with People. It's on my phone. And when I'm driving, if I'm going anywhere further than like 5 to 10 minutes, I play John Maxwell's if my kids aren't in the car. Because if my kids are in the car, they don't go for that. But if I'm by myself, it's that 25 Ways to Win with People, John Maxwell. That's how I've gotten through it like 4 times. It's just because it's constantly playing in my car when I'm by myself. And I'm not sure. 21 Irrefutable Laws might be on audio as well. I don't have it on audio, but the 25 Ways, it's only 2.5 hours, the audio. It's super easy. I mean, it's just packed with great information in such a short amount of time.
So there was one that you told us about. That's another one that you listen to in the car. It's like Orem Wells or something.
Orem Weaver?
Orem who? Yeah, that I can never remember who it is.
Let me look at what I have on my phone.
And I really have been dying to get that from you.
It's on the Mastermind disc set. So it's not on my phone. It's not on iTunes. There's CDs of the Mastermind event that I went to, and I've got the box set. So Rachel, they're all really good. If I send you some discs, then just keep track of who you send them to, and you can kind of do a lending library with your team on some of these discs.
That would be
it'd be really good. Yeah, so remind me, because I'll forget, and and not like baby brain and stuff.
Girl, you don't have to remember that. I'll remind you. That's great. But there was another person, Orem. So who was the other one that you said that?
It's Orem Woodward is the one that I want. Oh, Launching a Leadership Revolution is a really great leadership book. It's again, I have the hard copy. It's up on my nightstand. That's where most of my books are. And I don't know if that's on audio or not, but
thank you. Sorry.
Orem Woodward and Chris Brady is Launching a Leadership Revolution. Looking up on my shelf here to see if I have any favorites down here. Again, they're mostly on my nightstand. What's that one? No, this one's pretty good. I like it because there's a lot of quick little tidbits. Let me grab it real quick.
Thank you. We have a lot of.
Yeah, there you go. That's fall over.
Are you okay?
Yes. No, I didn't really fall. I just was missing the chair for a moment. Best First, Worst First. And it's a collection of 75 network marketing experts. And they give the best thing that they've done, the worst thing that they did. So sharing with you their mistakes. And then the first thing that they did to be successful. So it's really just, I haven't read it cover to cover, front to back, but I've just kind of pulled through and grabbed some things, and there's some really good tidbits in here as well. Best, Worst, First. I like that one as well.
I'll write it all out on the team page, y'all, so don't worry. I'll get it from Jenn if we need to, and I'll write it out, but I've been taking notes on it, so don't worry about that. I got y'all. Thank you, Jenn.
Yeah, and there's so much out there. There really is. There's just a ton of resources. But I think the important point here is to always be in something for your own personal growth and leadership development. There's enough to keep you going for a lifetime. So talking kind of about leadership, I wanted to say when you're starting to, you've built this business to gold, now you have a team and you're a leader. One of the things that's helped me be successful is servant leadership. And what I mean by servant leadership is, I'm not saying that I work for my team or I'm at their beck and call or they ask me a question and I tell them the answer. I'm teaching them how to find the answers. I'm teaching them how to be self-sufficient. But so that's not what I think that a lot of people misread what servant leadership is. And servant leadership really is more, what are your goals? I don't care. I care what my goals are, but I want to help you achieve your goals. Taking the focus off of you. What can you as my team member do for me to help me get where I want to be? But what can I do for you to help you achieve gold? You help enough people achieve goals, senior gold and beyond. I promise you're going to get where you want to get. But there's more joy along the journey when you're focusing on them and not what can you do for me. And you will gain the respect of your team more than if you were like, okay, here we go. It's always about me, so focus on them, take that spotlight off of you, and help them achieve, what they're after. And I've done that from the beginning, and even more when it comes to customers, even sometimes when we, you think, oh gosh, I really want this customer to be on all these products. They need to be on everything, and I want their commission, but maybe they're like, I don't have the money, and I can't afford all of these products that you're recommending. So really meet your customers where they're at and help them achieve their goals within what they can do, with what they can afford. And I'm not, because I'm not saying oh, you can only afford ProBio, then that is all you need, and here you go. And we encourage them because we have amazing products that they can benefit from. I don't know if that's a good example or not, but more of an example is when you're talking to customers or a prospect rather, and they're trying, you want them on your team because you want the 5 points so you can promote. But maybe they don't need to be an ambassador. Maybe they need to be a customer. Or maybe you really you're focused on your PD and you want to get, you want them to be a customer. And they really need to be a wholesale ambassador because they need to save money. They're buying for their spouse as well. Well, if they're buying for their spouse and themselves, then wholesale ambassador is probably the best thing for them. So take out what you want out of it and really focus on what are your goals. And I'm going to give you the information, but I want to do the best thing for you, not what's going to help me the most or not what I need at the moment. What is the best thing for you, for that customer? And that's serving your customers as well with customer service. I had one of my customers message me today saying that she didn't have her order, and she called customer service multiple times and can't get through. And I'm like, Katie, no, I'm your customer service. I'm your customer service. You call me and I'll take care of you. Don't call customer service. I said, if customer service ever needs to verify anything with you, we will cross that bridge. I'll get you on three-way. I'm making this as easy as possible for you. I am your customer service. So don't think, just sign up your customers. Oh, they're good. I don't have to teach them to use the products. I don't have to, do anything. I'm just going to keep getting their commission and their preferred customer bonus month after month. No, you are their coach. You are their customer service. You are the face of Plexus to them. And if they have a good experience with Plexus and with you, they might just join you and become your next great ambassador. Celeste Gwynn is a very good example of that. She was my customer for 8 months. And the girl, I promise you, she never called customer service. She always called me. Where's my order? Can you track my order? Can you send me some Slim? I'm almost out. I gave some away. That was the relationship we had, and we all know how that turned out, right? She's the top runner in the company now, but that's how I treated her, and that's how you should treat all of your customers. That's having that strong customer base, having that strong customer relationship where you're building that trust. They're experiencing Plexus aside from the products, what they're experiencing with the products, but they're getting a great impression of Plexus because of you and what you're providing to them. Okay. Here's another thing that I learned at the Mastermind conference, and I'm telling you, it was like a total light bulb moment for me. This was just November. So they talked about recognition, and not that recognition, I didn't do recognition because I think recognition is amazing and incentives. But one thing that really hit me like, oh my gosh, yes, duh, is that our company recognizes productivity. And we, as a leader, often recognizes productivity. Who has the highest PV? Who just went silver? Who signed so many ambassadors this month? And those are all very awesome, wonderful things to recognize. But it hit me like a ton of bricks between my eyes. Who is recognizing activity? The activity that will get the productivity. I have a girl on my team that it's been on my list now for a couple of days to shout out to her because she sends me her cold messaging, what she's going to be sending out to the people on her list. She's been with me now for about 1.5 years. She finally has her list, and she's got her little template of what she's going to send to them. and she's ready to start diving in to reaching out to people finally. And I'm so excited for her. And I need to get on my team pages and give her a shout out and say, this is what I'm looking for. This will, if she does this, she will get the productivity. So I'm not going to wait till she has the PV because of what she did. I want to recognize her and honor her activity that she's doing, okay? So that was seriously like, oh my gosh, yes. And when I'm talking about recognition, you guys at this level especially, don't think you need elaborate gifts. You don't need jewelry and Kendra Scott and purses, because that's not realistic for you at your level. That's okay. I didn't do those kind of gifts at that level either. I didn't. And it's awesome when you get to the level that you can do those kind of gifts. It's such a joy and such a blessing to be able to spoil your team. So don't get me wrong, but don't think I can't afford Kendra Scott earrings to give to my new ambassador that just went silver, or a book, or whatever that may be. Shout outs and verbal recognition goes a long, long way. Okay, so at Gold, just recognizing people publicly is huge. So look for that productivity still. Look for the productivity and the activity, and look for ways to shout out to your team. I know Rachel's really good at that. So as you're looking at your team that you're growing, always be looking for ways you can recognize and honor when they're in the right activity, and then when they have great productivity as well. Okay, so I'm getting towards the end of my stuff here. So I told you guys I was nursing my baby, and I had a thought come into my mind, and I don't know if this whole thing fits anywhere into what I'm talking about with gold or whatever. I think it's just a really important story that has a great point that I want to tell you. And I'm going to end with this, and then if we have some time, oh gosh, we're almost at an hour. I told Rachel, I don't have an hour's worth of material. She's like, we can do Q&A. I'm like, okay, it's almost at an hour. So I'll end with this little story. And it came from Mastermind. I love Mastermind. You should go if you can. There's this guy, Jordan Adler. He tells this story. And he says, I came home from a meeting with my team one night, and I was staying with some friend's house. He was staying with friends. They were a couple. They have a dog. Gets home. The couple, they're already asleep, and he opens the door, and the dog gets out. So the dog lets out, and he's like, oh, I gotta get this dog back. It's not my dog. I'm chasing this dog around this neighborhood. It's the middle of the night. Oh my goodness. So he's chasing. And finally he has to wake up the owners of the dog, and they gotta help him reel back in this dog. So he's been chasing the dog. They're all spread out all over the neighborhood trying to find the dog. And Jordan takes a different approach. Instead of chasing the dog, he sits back, sits in the driveway, leans up against the garage, and the dog comes right up to him. So where I'm going with this story is, sometimes we chase and we chase and we hound and we hound, and we have this posture of desperation that makes people run, okay? When sometimes you just sit back and say, I've got this amazing thing and you'll come to me, it sends a message that I'm not desperate for you to join my team. I don't need you to be successful. You watch what I'm doing. I'm going to sit back and you see that you want to come to me, that you want to join me. I'm not saying don't approach people, don't ask people to join your business, but there's a line between approaching people, telling them, I would love for you to join my team. You have the qualities I'm looking for, and then coming across desperate where people run from you. I don't know why that story popped in my head, and maybe only one of you needed to hear it, but I wanted to share it because sometimes I feel like we can come across desperate where people might run. But anyhow, totally random story, but I wanted to share it anyways. And we are at 8:01. And Rachel, I have to know what your points are. Has there been a refresh?
Oh, let me check. I mean, I've checked. No, I'm not going to pretend like I haven't checked, but let me check again. Maybe. Sorry, I was enthralled in your story, and I'm sitting here thinking, yeah, I've totally changed my posture about sharing Plexus because it took some time to kind of figure it out, you know, like, and it can feel desperate because you're just desperate to help these people that are being ridiculous and not well. But I don't feel that way. I feel like God's going to open the doors, and he does. But yeah, I just love it. We're at 1440, which is where we were when the call started, right? Yeah, 60 points.
Yeah. There probably hasn't been an update yet.
I'm going to die.
You guys, this is so exciting. You're on the brink of being an Emerald team, which is so awesome. I mean, it's amazing. And all of you have done it. Rachel could not be where she is without all of you. It takes all of us, everyone, pushing and pulling to be successful. So I'm so excited for you guys. It's really remarkable what you're doing here.
Thank you, Jen. And we're just so thankful that you did this call. I'm going to stop the recording so that if we can take a minute if anyone has any questions. But so I'm going to go ahead and stop it. But thank you so much, Jen.